Alright. We're up and running. Yep, everything's looking good on Twitch side. Notifications are out. Yep, everything is looking good. Hello, hello, I am back. I hope everyone has had a good weekend. Mine was alright. Saturday I worked, like usual. Sunday, chilled out, played some more, early access fucking World of Warcraft, because, you know, I had pre-ordered it or whatever. What else? So then, you know, that's mostly what I've been grinding off stream is just, oops. Yeah, what the hell? Weird. Okay. My stream info didn't update properly. Like, the title updated, but the game didn't. So I just redid it, and now it's properly showing Kingdom Hearts 3. Weird. I wonder why it was being weird. Oh well. Whatever. It's fixed now. So anyway, let's see. Come on, brain. Right, I was playing WoW. Getting back into it just because, no expansion and all that. Plus, like I said, I've always liked the game. The only reason I stopped playing is just because as soon as I, like, progress as far as I can, if I can't get further, then I stop. Like, the only thing that keeps me in MMOs is progression and guilds. So, like, if I don't have a guild to, like, if I don't have a guild to link up with, and I'm not, like, doing endgame content, like raids and whatnot, where I'm constantly, like, progressing, I just get bored and I stop playing. Like, I'm an entirely progression-based gamer. Like, that's why if I'm gonna play something casual, like Minecraft or something, I need a mod pack that, like, that gives me progression-based things, you know? Like quest books and whatnot, because it's like, I don't do well being left to my own devices, not having a clear goal. Because it's like, even if it's just like, oh, here's an option of, like, quest chains you can go on, that's infinitely better than just, like, just having nothing and being like, yeah, do whatever you want. It's like, well, I want some type of direction, you know? Because, like, even if I end up only doing some of it and then doing a bunch of random things or whatever, like, that kind of structure that I can then branch off of helps me a lot. So, like, if I don't have, like, because even if I don't follow the structure, it being there helps a ton. Because then I can use it as, like, a base framework that I can then, like, tear apart and then restructure. Versus, like, having to build something completely from scratch, I get decision paralysis because there's literally infinite things I can do, which means I have to go through every single possibility before I can start. Which, if the possibilities are infinite, means I'm going to be stuck there forever. So, for me, games having too many options can be a problem, but, like, having like some options with the freedom to do whatever I want as well helps much more. Anyway, so yeah, I've been playing some WoW. Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but I upgraded. I put some upgrades in my PC. I got all new RAM sticks. There we go. One of the issues I've been running into was hold on, is it's starting to run out of memory. But again, I've mentioned how I browse the internet. I literally have like over 100 tabs open because I can't remember all of them. So like if I have a song I want to listen to, like, but not right now, closing that tab, I'll completely forget about it. So like I need it to all still exist. Otherwise, like it'll just be gone. Like object permanence is not always engaged in my brain. Like it's pretty wonky. It's like how to describe it. It's kind of like when you got like a bad connection, and it's just really intermittent. Like it'll be on, and then it'll like break connection, and like when there's a bad wiring or something, like it'll kind of touch sometimes, and then that's when it's working, and then if it's ever disconnected, then that's when I lose it, and it's really hard to connect it back again. And then when it connects again, it might not be for the right thing. So it's just like faulty brain wiring. Anyway, so that's why I browse the way I do, leaving so many tabs open, is because like I'll literally forget. And then it'll be like 4 months later, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was reading that story. Or, oh, I wanted to watch that fucking music video. Or, oh, I wanted to finish reading that article or something. Like if I close everything, it's the same as erasing it from my brain, basically. So that's the games I've been playing off stream. Yeah, so I got all new RAM sticks for my PC to solve some of the memory issue. The other issue was that I didn't know this because again, I know a fair amount about computers, but like fair amount for a layman. Like compared to an actual like any type of like programmer or like engineer, technician, like anybody who like is a professional IT person or anything, or has done like really like intense building or like programming, I know nothing next to that. So like I'm like how would I okay. It's like being a handyman compared to like a normal person, and then like, you know, like a guy who's able to like build like, but then when compared to professional, it's more like somebody who knows how to put together an IKEA shelf. You know, it's like I can put the parts together following the diagrams and stuff, and I kind of understand what they mean, but like I have no real in-depth knowledge. So everything I learn is like as I need to know it, which means there's still tons of stuff I don't know. Anyway, I say all that to say one thing I was unaware of was that your sticks of RAM, like they each have their own speeds. And like, so the speed at which your computer's memory works is dictated by the slowest stick that you have, which is why it's important to buy either all the same one or matching speeds, which since most people who, you know, the layperson wouldn't know how to do all of that. Like they wouldn't know exactly what they're looking at and what to compare. So the easiest thing to say is just buy all the same one. So if you're going to use 2 sticks, buy the same ones. If you're going to use 4, buy the same ones. Like buy the same size, buy the same speed. Like buy, if it's just like, hey, I can get this pack of 2. Okay, that's perfect. You got 2 of the same thing. If you want 4 of them, just buy 2 of those 2 packs. Like don't mix and match. because even if you have like, if you have one stick that's like 32 gigs of RAM and the speed's like fucking like 3200 or whatever, and then the other one's like 4 gigs of RAM and the speed is like 1600, your memory's only going to be able to go 1600, even though like, so basically your stick that can go 32 is going to be hampered by your stick that can only go 16, because the 16 can't go faster, but the 32 can go slower. So that's one of the things I didn't know, and I only learned that because of I was talking to somebody that I work with, and during one of like my breaks and whatnot, we were chatting about computer parts and stuff, and so I was telling him like some of the issues I was having and the upgrades I was considering going after, and he recommended that I start with my RAM, because if I do have different sticks, it's likely that one of the issues I'm encountering is that despite having enough memory, I may not be using it optimally because one or multiple of the sticks may be slower. So yeah, what I ended up doing was just buying all new RAM, buying like large sticks, but also fast ones. So 4 of the same one, so they all can go the same speed. Plug that into my computer. There was some hiccups, just because apparently you gotta fuck around with the BIOS to get it to actually run at the appropriate speed. Because like if you just plug them in and then start them, it may not be set to the actual maximum speed that it can go to, so it'll run slower than it actually can. So you need to go into the BIOS and then just like, it depends on your sticks, but basically you go into the BIOS and then you just like change it to the, either by selecting a profile or manually entering it, but you can either select the profile that adjusts the speed or enter the speed that you know that it can go, and then save it, so then your memory will run at the appropriate speed. Anyways, so once I did all that, my computer is performing better, but I can see that there's still some things that I could work on. And I'm trying to consider whether that means I need to get a new graphics card, a new CPU, or what. So I'm trying to benchmark and performance check everything, just to see where I'm starting to lag behind and where I can improve. Because it's like, my computer's good. It can run pretty much anything I want to. Like, but I just like I said, it has hiccups in places. Like it'll like sometimes it'll just hitch really hard when I'm opening something. Or like when I mess with the like the display settings. So there's a lot of noise around here. Thankfully, it's not being transmitted through the mic, but there's a storm here, and just not even to get into it, but neighbors, they're just being neighbors. So anyway, so like yeah, my computer still has some hiccups in certain places, so I'm trying to optimize, performance check, and benchmark everything just to see where in certain places, so I know what to work on next. But otherwise, my computer is in pretty good shape. Like I said, it's like compared to a lot of stock things, it runs pretty well. You'd have to buy a higher end PC to match mine. Yeah. What is it? Still have to wait a few weeks. But I'm really looking forward to seeing my therapist again because I think I might need just some anti-anxiety meds to take the edge off. Because one, it'll help me deal with everything that's been frustrating me, but two, it'll also help me deal with everything being amplified by my Adderall. Because I'm just feeling really tense. Which is very against my nature. Like, I'm used to being really chill. So, like my conscious self feels still really chill, but like my physical reaction that I'm having is really, really tense. So I'm trying to do my best to keep myself like relaxed, take the edge off in any way I can, and just like alleviate those physical reactions that I'm having. But anyways, that is enough of me rambling. I am going to check out what we still need to do. So, hey Shadow,
Hey, come on.
how you doing?
We brought some ingredients.
How was your weekend? Oh, nice! I can make some new recipe.
Yeah. 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 All
Yep.
right. We did it.
That's fair. Yeah, it's always a bummer when you remember you have to work tomorrow. But you'll make it through. I believe in you. Just enjoy every second you have left of your day off today, and then do your best at work, and then, and then before you know it, you'll be home. Oh, you got laundry too? Bummer. But at least laundry's like, well, depending on what you have to do. Because I remember that varies for people. Because like, if you just got like a few loads, I mean, you can ignore it all in color. Go for it. As long as you got clean clothes for tomorrow, I mean, you can push off laundry for as long as you want to. But I was gonna say, like, because what I usually do is just like, I throw in a load, and then like I throw in a load, and then set my alarm, like, for whatever, how long the cycle runs, and then I just like, I just chill for that time, make a snack, watch something, whatever, and then like, and then when the alarm goes off, throw it in the dryer, go back to whatever I was doing. But I know that varies depending on where your washer and dryer is located, and if you have one in your building. Because I know anybody who has to like For people who live in a car... Oh. Sorry. Gotta slow myself down. For people who live in apartment buildings, depending on where you live, you might have to go up and down a lot, which that can be pretty exhausting. And if you don't have any in your building at all, or no non-functional ones, then you have to go to a laundromat, and driving or schlepping back and forth between those isn't really conducive to getting things done on the side as well. So if laundry is easy, then hopefully you'll be able to just, like, you know, throw a load in, work on your drawing, move from the washer to dryer, go back to drawing, and then just, like, do a little bit each day that you're feeling up to it, and then you'll get through the pile before you know it. But whatever you want to do is what you want to do. You said you've been doing your work clothes, which, I mean, yeah, that works. You're making sure that you're all cleaned up professionally. Easy, but it's a mental battle to have to fold and put them away. I think you have to go through your clothes and throw some stuff away. That's fair. If I can miss something between you and me, I don't fold my clothes or put them away. I literally just, like, I wash them, I dry them, and then I keep them in the basket. Do they come out wrinkled? Yes. But my job, I don't have to wear, like, a suit and have, like, pressed clothes, so wrinkles don't matter. Not to throw shade at any of my coworkers, but let's just say, even with wrinkles in my clothes, there are some people that I still look far better than. Again, not trying to say it to demean them, just trying to say how casual it is. You don't like to, when they stay on your bed, because anywhere else and you can't try to pee on them. That is also fair. I always, like, I forget that, like, when people have pets, that pets love to interact with warm clothes, especially, like, when they're, like, right out the dryer and shit. And cats especially love to just pee on things. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of a solution, but, like, everything I'm thinking of is more involved than just putting them away. Because I was like, oh, if you had, like, I was thinking, like, one thing was like, oh, well, if you had a closet with, like, a door or a sliding door, you could just, like, put the basket clothes in there and then close it, that way your cats can't get to it. But I'm like, you know, one, a lot of cats can just open those, and then you're in the same fucking problem. Or if it starts to get too involved, you might as well just put them away. So I wish I could think of a better solution for you.
Yeah. Yes! How's that?
Okay. Try again. Did I get that perfect? Dang it.
Yes! How's that? Yeah. Oops!
Dang it.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep getting good.
Yes! How's that?
one. And for this one, I need raspberries. Oh yeah. Like that Arendelle.
It's nice to eat outside.
But I also need honey from this. So I need to collect some honey from here. But yeah.
Let's get
But anyway,
gardening.
you had said you were working on coloring, you know, to ignore
I'm rather in the mood for a smack.
your laundry that's waiting.
Do you see any
I hope that your
honey
drawing turns out well.
There. Go. More, more. I hope you've left the ones I'm after. Go.
Turns out exactly how you want it to, or even
I'm
better.
so
This
very
enough?
hungry.
There.
Oh, thank you, Sora.
Here we go.
My tumbly's getting rumbly.
Yeah. Go. Look at that. I hope you've left the ones I'm
This
after.
enough?
There.
Do you see any honey about?
More, more. There. Go.
I'm rather in the
Yeah.
mood for a smackerel of honey. Oh, bother. I'm so very
There.
hungry.
All in a day's work.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like that to not share it since you weren't the creator of the base, but you're doing the coloring for it. I mean, I hope. Either way, I hope it turns out great. I hope you and Toxic are really happy with it.
Let's get gardening.
And most of all, I hope you have fun.
This
Tumbly's
enough?
getting rumbly.
Look at that. I hope you've left the ones I'm after.
Hope you
There.
enjoy yourself with it.
Go. There.
This enough?
Perhaps another small smackerel?
There.
This enough?
More, more. I think I'll gather these. Allow me. Thank you.
I'm rather
This
in
enough?
the mood for a smackerel of honey.
Look at
Honey.
that. I hope you've left the ones I'm after. There.
Delicious.
Yeah. There. Yeah.
At your service. Somebody stand for
Keep
me.
at it.
Is there any more?
Yeah, I'd be happy
Look at that.
to see more of your art when you make something that you're that you want to share.
I hope you've left the ones I'm after.
Do you see any
This
I love
honey
art.
about?
Go.
jokes, either them or their friends, community, whatever, about them being like, you know, wives, husband, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it usually ends up being like, you know, just all in good fun. Everybody's having a good time and being silly. So I can see that, and it's good that you and your friends are having fun. Uh, I keep having to like pump the brakes because my my medication's got my brain like, well, fucking speeding. Because usually my brain is running a mile a minute, but my body's not able to keep up. But now that I'm getting like the stimulants I need to like put them like more in sync, it's causing me to speak really, really fast, which is causing me to, you know, trip over my words. So I have to keep pumping the brakes and slowing myself down. So that's why I keep pausing, taking a deep breath, and then like speaking slower, because I'm trying to like get myself back into my normal speaking rhythm, and also not just like, you know, rambling a mile a minute, and just like being able to have like a clear, like coherent conversation. And also a lot like not to also to keep myself from getting like hyperactive. So you posted it, so I'm gonna take a look. Nice. That is a really nice drawing. It is very beautiful. I like the colors. I like the would that be a lantern? Because it looks like, you know, one of those like standing lamps you'd have, but it's got, you know, since it has flame instead of like a light bulb. It'd still be called a lantern. I guess the light. I like that in the corner. I like what you're doing with the shadow in it. like any tips that other artists have posted about how they are able to get that kind of texture, or like the process they went to like learn the texture that you're looking for, would be a decent place to start. Otherwise, if you're not exactly sure, I think there's like, depending on like what program or anything that you use to do your artwork in, there's usually like a fair number of people that like either do tutorials on like how to make texture brushes and stuff, or like they'll just straight upload the texture brush and like share it with the community and be like, hey, here's a brush on, you know, here's a brush that makes like what was it? I think I saw one that did like lace. That was really cool. There was another one I saw where someone made like a brush that did like it was like a glittering star effect. That was pretty cool. So yeah, like I guess like I guess the way I advise it is the same way I advise anyone who like is trying to tackle any type of problems, like figure out exactly what you're looking to do and then like research. And then once you find something that like begins to fit what you're looking for, then like do the practice of it, you know? Like what was it? Like when I replaced my mom's car battery. I had no clue what I was doing, but I knew the vehicle and I knew the year. So I was able to look up the type of battery I needed. So we went and bought it. And then I just looked up how to do it and watched a video and then just executed what I saw. There are a few like minor bumps, but it worked out. But I know art is a much more difficult skill to work on than just changing a car battery. It's definitely like it is a process, especially when you're trying to like evoke a certain like texture or like work on a specific type of skill. But yeah, so that would be my advice. If the textures is something you wanted to work on, just like find something that you find a starting point that you wanted to go for, and then because one thing I have heard from watching other artists and having artist friends is that like once you begin to get a footing in a specific type of like area, it tends to translate in a lot of other ones in ways you didn't expect. So like once you get the hang of working on like one type of texture, you might find it easier to do others, and then like it'll sort of snowball like that. But all in all, like I said, I think it's a great picture. I think it's a great drawing. I think it turned out really well. I like the colors. I like the lighting. I like the shadows that are going on here. That's fair. That's fair. Honestly, I think a lot of people do that too. Even a lot of people that like end up being like, there's a lot of really famous people that will tell stories about how they did things by accident. So like, it's definitely not wrong. Like that might be the best way for you to learn. I don't know. Like doing things and just doing it intuitively and then just having enlightenment, I guess, would be like that might just be the best way that you learn. like whatever methods you find that make the experience the most enjoyable to you would be the way to do it. So if wow. Deep breath, calm down, structure the sentence in your brain, and then speak it. All right, deep breath. If how you're doing things now is what is enjoyable to you, then keep going that way. Because having a passion for it and deriving joy from it will be some of the biggest factors in your growth. Because if you ever start to put so much pressure on yourself and you begin doing it in a way that you don't enjoy, you'll start to build resentment, and the thing that you used to love doing, you'll start to hate doing. A good example, well, I have a fairly connected story. I used to enjoy reading. I used to enjoy, like, I would just find some books that looked good, and I would just read for pleasure, and just like I would just curl up with a book and then just like read. Like, my imagination isn't great, but I'd still be able to like conjure enough of a mental image to like get the story across, and like I had fun with it. But then, like, you know how schooling goes. Like, they start giving you required reading, and then just like giving you some really, I don't know. Some of them are tough books, and that can be whether they're a difficult read, a difficult story, or just like a lot of pages. And by the time I got done with my education, all the required reading I had to do through the years just destroyed the enjoyment I had for reading. So now I can't even bother to hold a book in my hands. Like, I can't. Like, I don't enjoy it anymore. Like, the way they had us doing our reading assignments and like whatnot, like the way we had to read, it was so terrible that by the end of it, I lost every ounce of joy I had about it. So the only thing I can read now is like manga and stuff, and I can only read on the computer. Like, I can only do any reading that I do with visuals. So it has to be some type of visual book. So like a manga or like a Korean manhwa, something like that. It has to be visual based. It can't have too much dialogue. Like, it can't just be like walls of text. If there's too much text, my brain will quit. So yeah, like, you know, like, so that's an example of what I mean. Is like, if you do the thing you like in a way that you don't like doing it, you'll eventually lose the passion for it, and that'll be the worst outcome. All right. Circling back to read what you had said. So one video on TikTok, and it was like, "Oh, so you're an artist? Are you good?" And then the stitch with the other person, like, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe bad. That is so true for anything that's subjective. Like, any subjective, like, what is it? Any subjective, like, hobby, discipline, profession, anything like that. Anything where the result is subjective. Like, yeah, that is so for sure true. Because it's like there have been so many artists that have, like, even when they do something similar it'll be received completely different than like a prior work of the same vein. Like 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 if like let's say Da Vinci had made like a second Mona Lisa of like a different woman, like that portrait would have likely been received completely differently than like the Mona Lisa was. So yeah, that type of feeling about it, I feel is just yeah, it's I can see it. It's super true with anything that can be viewed subjectively. I'm glad you understood what I meant when I was talking about the reading thing. Sorry that you had to go through the same thing. I think a lot of people end up going through with it because like schools make reading so terrible. They give you the worst stories. Like I get why too, because like, you know, they have a structure that they have to follow and they have so many kids. Like if the class sizes weren't so massive, like my suggestion would be to let kids have like a selection of books, like get like a fair number across like various genres that are like appropriate for the age group, and then let them pick something that like appeals to them, because if they can engage with the story, like they'll get through it much easier. Although if they engage with it too much, it can be a problem, which I also have a story about. Because in high school, I think it was my junior year, one of the books for my English class was Les Miserables. What was it? You said you learn from a young age that if you read, it's going to be used for a project or report, so you never had a story that was just for fun. Yeah, like if it ever came from school, then it was going to be work. And even if it was a good story, but once you have to start working at it and you start getting like judged based on like if you can accurately, if you can basically regurgitate or report the correct information back to a teacher, like you get judged on that, and it's another layer of taking the fun out of it. But yeah, so what was it? So yeah, back in high school, I was reading Les Mis, and I loved the story. I loved it. It hooked me. Like I was fucking in it. But a problem arose in that I would read to the end of the required section, and then I'd stop myself, and I'd be like, okay, gotta stop. And then what was it? Come on, brain. Eventually I was just like, I want to keep reading. And so I did. I started reading ahead, and I ended up finishing the book weeks ahead of when we were supposed to be done with it. Which you would think would be a good thing. But since I have trouble remembering things, likely due to having ADHD, but again, I wasn't diagnosed back then, so I'm not going to use it as an excuse. Anyway, so when we were getting like tests and homework based on stuff I had read weeks earlier, I wouldn't remember all of it. So I ended up like, despite having read the book and liking it and being done with it way earlier, my grades on it weren't that great because I couldn't remember the information when they were asking for it. Like if I had taken tests as I was finishing each section, I would have been fine. But because I was reading ahead, all the information they were looking for was old in my brain, so I couldn't access it. I'd forgotten. So that was a situation where enjoying the book too much ended up hurting me. You said your teachers would say, pick any book you want that you like. So you heard that, you'd be like, yay, go pick what you want. And a few weeks later, your teacher's like, all right, we're going to do a book report on the book you chose. And you're like, it was a trap. Like, you were tricked. I thought I was having fun. No, this is work. That is unfortunate that they had to just, like,
Delicious.
kill the fun that way.
There. Go. Look at that. Yeah.
Honey, is there any more?
Go. There. More, more. I hope you've left the ones I'm after. Yeah. Go.
Honey,
I think I'll gather these. Yeah.
delicious.
Thanks, Rabbit. Thank you.
Somebody stand for
All
me.
right.
Honey,
There.
delicious.
This enough?
Oh, thank you, Sora.
Dang. I almost got another one. There we go, that's better.
I think I should.
Um, did I ever hear the theory on the characters of Winnie the Pooh that each character represents a different mental illness? I think so. That sounds familiar. But I also might be thinking of the theory that the 100-Acre Wood is like a hallucination for Christopher Robin. Like that all the characters are like either toys or animals, and he's like either imagining or hallucinating everything that's happening. So I'm familiar with that theory. The mental illness one, I'm not entirely sure if I remember that one or not, but it sounds familiar. And then that reminds me of since you mentioned that theory, did you ever hear the Rugrats theory that all the babies are actually hallucinations, or like, what is it? They're all hallucinations in Angelica's mind, and like each one represents like a different way that the children passed. It's a really, really dark theory. Because what was it? What was it? I think. What was it? I think it said Tommy was a stillborn. Chucky, I think, died in an accident. Phil and Lil the reason that they're twins is because they look like the mom lost the baby so early that they didn't know the gender. So like Angelica's hallucinating that it was twins since they didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. So yeah, the theory posits that the only other real child is actually Susie, and that's the reason why like Susie's so gentle with her, because like she's just playing along, and like Angelica's actually just hallucinating. That's why she like it explains why that's the attempt at explaining why she can understand the babies is like because they're imaginary, so of course she would understand them, despite the fact that none of the other adults can understand the children. It's a really dark theory, and I was like, damn. I was like, you guys did some work trying to make this work, and I was like, that is so dark. And then I think there was this theory that about SpongeBob, like the characters in SpongeBob, it's like Bikini Bottom is like near some type of like nuclear runoff or something, and that's why like the city is like all like car mufflers and stuff, because it's like near like a dump basically. So all the characters are actually like mutated, and that's why they look like human-esque and whatnot.